انا فيه دلوقتي هحكي لكوا عليه. خير ان شاء الله تشوفيه واجعله خير اللي يشوفيه والنبي قولي له خير دلوقتي هحكي لكوا عليه. يا مفسرين الاحلام عينيا مش هتنام دلوني بس اوام يا مفسرين الاحلام وانت ايه من البنات شفت الميه جايه عليا.
Welcome back, and in this segment we will be interviewing an Egyptian female athlete. Actually, Sarah Assem managed to gain or to win the silver medal at the Karate Kata Championship. She competed against 130 athletes and she won the silver medal. She's considered to be the first Egyptian female or lady to win at the Women's Karate Kata Championship. Good morning, Sarah, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the introduction.
Good morning, and before we talk about anything, we are very much interested to know more about you. Tell us, how did you start, at what age? You told me 3 years old, and it was your own choice or the choice of your mother. Tell us more about it.
I started since I was 3 years and a half, and at that age most sports they accepted children from the age of 4. But the coaches saw that I was very active and very smart, so they told my mom, as an exception, we will accept your daughter. And afterwards, it was a coincidence. Of course, karate was a coincidence at first.
How was it?
My mother was walking in the club, and she saw some girls doing karate, and she was like, "Do girls do karate?" And they told her, "Yes, it's very important for the girls nowadays to protect themselves." So she was talking with the coach, and he told her, "Okay, I will take her. I'll take the age of 4, but I will take your daughter." And then afterwards, I did taekwondo and tennis and ballet. I started doing many sports, but at the end, I was talented in karate, so I started.
So it was your own decision.
Yes.
At the end.
Yes.
Now, what about the training hours? How many hours do you train, and would the training sessions vary from one age to another?
Of course. They vary from one age to another. At younger ages, you train more a little bit, and well, as for my normal weeks, not before any competitions, I train three days a week, 2 hours. And if I have a competition, we camp a month before the competition. We train every day. Sometimes we train twice a day, and sometimes 3 times a day. But before the World Championship, of course, I train 3 times a day.
But tell us more about your life, your time management, and how do you prepare yourself? And of course, it has to do with, you have something like a diet, not only a diet with the meaning of the nutrition, but of course, you have your own schedule as well. A tough one, of course.
Yes, mainly if you want to be a world champion, you have to make sacrifices. That's for sure. Sometimes I didn't go out with my friends. As a teenager, of course, most of my friends, they used to travel and go out a lot. Well, I didn't do this, but I used to travel more with karate, and this was a better thing. And as for my daily routine, I work. Well, I train before work, and then afterwards I work, and then I go back to training again, and then at night I spend my time with my family, with my friends. Well, of course, this is my normal daily routine. But before the competitions, it's a closed camp. I don't go out of the camp. I rarely see my parents. And it's all about karate. I eat because I need this food for training.
The camp is inside Egypt or outside Egypt?
Sometimes it's outside Egypt, but most of the time it's inside Egypt. I do everything for karate. I sleep well because I need to train. I eat well.
How many hours do you sleep?
Not less than 8 hours. Not less than 8 hours. From 8 to 9 hours.
And eat well? You have certain kinds of food to eat?
Yes, of course. No, of course I do. I try to eat more carbs because we burn a lot of calories, and of course vitamins. I take vitamins and diet supplements. But for karate, because of the doping, because we have strict doping lists, so I have to manage to take safe vitamins, only safe vitamins.
Now, what about the kata as a sport? Because I understand that karate, there are various genres or various techniques. So would you tell me what type of technique is more common in kata?
Kata is different schools. We have Shitoryu, we have Shotokan, we have Gojoryu, we have Wadoryu. But in Egypt, 99% are Shotokan. I do Shitoryu. Shitoryu mainly is in Asia, in Europe, because Shitoryu needs very skinny athletes, very sharp and very fast. While Shotokan, it needs more of muscles, and this is what most Egyptians are like. So I'm the only one actually now in the first team who's doing Shitoryu. And Shitoryu basically depends on art. It's more artistic. It's more of the personality and how you perform and how you look and how you perform the kata, more than just the power and the stiffness.
And participating in different championships and traveling as well. So when was your first time to travel to present Egypt, and tell us more about this experience? Of course you were alone, or?
No, I was with my mother.
So this is a good support actually, because many of the athletes, they used to travel for the first time alone and they are shocked. So tell us more about your experience.
First time I traveled, I was 8 years old. I was very young.
Where did you
on
go?
my own expenses. I went to Hungary. On my own expenses, and my mother traveled with
Why
me.
is it always this situation actually when it comes to athletes or participating?
Especially before joining the first team, because the first team starts at the age of 14, 16. So before that, it's the
You
club.
have to pay for it.
It's the club, and most of the clubs, they don't give a lot of attention to karate. Especially, they give more attention to football or other.
We can see now what you're actually.
Yes, that's my kata in the finals against Japan.
So tell us more. You were talking actually about your.
Yes, and
We were talking about you when you traveled for the first time.
yes, when I was traveling for the first time, I got first. I got first on the world for many times in Hungary, but in Hungary it was a world championship for the clubs. Because at that time there is no first team for my age, so at that time I got like 4 or 5 times first place on the world, and then afterwards I joined the first team in 2003. But then my age was not the proper age, so the first time I participated in the Mediterranean competition representing the first team was in 2004, and I got 3rd place in the kata category. This was my first official championship.
Now, for the championship that you won the silver medal in, now, were there certain challenges, were there certain participants that you were not afraid of, but sort of cautious and feeling that these might be a real challenge or form a real competition?
Of course, in the World Championship, we are all very close when it comes to the kata level. So it's only a matter of today I'm feeling better, or today my confidence is more. It's tiny differences, and my draw was very hard. I had Indonesia, and she was a very tough competitor. But my main competitor at my draw before Japan was Italy. She's the European champion, and being the European champion in karate is a very big deal. And we never played against each other before, but she has always had a higher rank than me, because we are ranked by the WKF, and she has a very, there is a big gap between me and her. But this was my semi-final match with Italy, and I had the choice of either doing a low-grade kata But if I do the low grade kata, I will lose, and then I have the third place. Or I do a high grade kata and I take a risk. Most of the people told me don't take a risk. She's the European champion. She has a big name as well, and most of the judges are from Europe. But this was my decision, and I told them no, I will take responsibility for my decision, and I told them no, I will do the high grade kata, and I won 3-2. This was my challenge mainly at that competition, and of course this was the first time in the history that female kata women reached the finals, so I did it.
And I think this is the most difficult part, because how to maintain or to improve to be number one. And the point is, when you are preparing yourself to participate in international championships in general, how do you organize and how do you arrange, not only talking about training, but I'm talking also about to know more about those who are going to just play with you, actually the athletes. Do you watch some of their videos? Do you find out more about their techniques? How do you make it?
Of course, mainly before the championships, it's the mental training, and I believe in mental training a lot. Actually, this is the reason why I won. I do mental training a lot, and I watch the athletes, but I pick the best part in each one. For example, Japan is very fast, so I try to like imitate her or make the same moves. And the Europeans are very strong, so I try to watch the best European athlete, and I try to make as the kata as powerful as the European champion too. So of course I watch a lot of katas. Mainly I watch them at night before I sleep, and I actually dream of the kata, and I do the kata while sleeping, because before the World Championships, I remember one day I woke up and I was doing kata, and so kata is like 24/7 on my mind. Mainly I think this is the reason why I won in this championship.
Now, I'd like to know about the movements. Are there certain movements that are win-win movements and others which are not? And are they classic standard, or you can improvise and add more movements to it?
Most of the katas, you have basics movements that you cannot change, but you can change a little katas or little movements, but it's somehow restricted. There are, as I told you before, there are low grade katas and there are high grade katas. The high grade katas are more, you use more of your flexibility. You can jump. Some people jump with kicking, some people don't. And long katas, other than short katas, of course, short katas are low grade katas. Katas that need that you can take risks in. For example, going around 360. That's a high grade kata. So of course we have many katas, but you pick what's best for your body, because everyone has his or her talent. So you try to pick what fits you more and what makes you appear better than the other athlete. For example, if I'm competing against a very powerful kata, I don't think I'm going to compete with the power. So I move to this more of the style and more of the artistic way, so that I can win the judges' attention to win.
So the point is, it's something like a technique in your mind, how to calculate things.
Yes, it's a very smart game, by the way. It's not only about doing the best kata.
This is what I understood right now. It's not about movements, it's about the technique, or how to be smart enough.
In picking the kata. Sometimes I'm better than the other athlete, but she picks a smarter kata, or a better kata, so she wins.
So the normal state is going to be just to watch someone, and she's, for example, powerful, so I'll try to be the same as her and more.
Exactly.
But you're selecting the other part in which she is weak in.
Exactly.
Now, what about the other championships? Tell us more about your participation in other international championships. You've told us about the one when you were 8 years old, but there must be other in between.
Of course. Also, I'm the first Egyptian, African, Arabian female kata player to achieve the 3rd place in the World Championship for cadets. And I did it again, 3rd place in juniors. And in 2003, I was the first. I achieved the 1st place in the Premier League. Premier League is many competitions that you participate in throughout the year, and you get points for each time you win, and then at the end of the year, we are categorized, or we get first place, second place. So I got first place in 2003. Also, I got first in the Arab Games and the African Games many times, and of course in the Egyptian National Championship.
Yes.
I got first in Paris Open. This is one of the main Premier Leagues. This is the hardest one, and I was the first one in Egypt to get the first place. I had Japan, and I had France, and I had everyone. Even I had Japan in my draw, and I had France, and we were competing in France. So the whole was cheering up for France. So this was very hard as well, but I got first place.
We have a video here of your game with Shimizu.
Yes.
So would you tell us more about that game?
This was my finals in the World Championship against Shimizu, the world champion. And actually, what was very weird is that I was not scared at all, and she was very scared. Most of the time, when you're waiting for the other athlete, when she or he is competing, you have to stand still. She was moving backwards and forwards, and this was very obvious. And in the warming up area, her coach from the beginning of the competition, he was watching me all the time, and they even interviewed me before the finals, the Japanese TV, for an hour, asking me about my daily routine and everything about me. So I was very happy actually in the finals, and I thought that I was going to be scared, but I was not at all. I was concentrating on my kata, because as I said before, I used my high grade kata in the semifinals, and I was using a kata for the first time in my life, and actually it's not as high as the one before in the semifinals. So I never did this before. So it's the first time ever in my life doing this kata, and in the finals of the World Championship. So I was supposed to be really scared, but thank God I was only concentrating on my kata.
Maybe because you were very much excited, so you were just concentrating on
Yes,
what
exactly. And I knew that I already made history, and I really wanted to make more history. So I had more passion than any other competition in this World Championship.
Sarah, in Egypt right now, talking about kata, how do you see it? And I can see nowadays we have a certain awareness when it comes to sports among parents in general, because we did not see this in the past actually. We didn't have many mothers like your mother to be just keen on going to the training and taking the kids school, coming from school, going to practice training. So tell us more about how do you see it so far, and do you think it is promising, at least in Egypt?
Well, they made some surveys, and they discovered that karate comes to second place after football for kids participating in most of the championships.
Males or females?
Both. Actually, females are more in the competitions. Even the females now are more. Before, for example, in the African championships, we didn't have many females. Now we do have. Well, as for female kata players, they are very promising. The next generation is very promising. I started the achievement of the world championships and the records, but I see many other young players. They're very good, and they want to do something. They're very confident, and I think that they will continue on being better, and I hope that one day Egypt will be the first place in karate in the female. But I tell you that the population of female is even now more in kata than the males.
What about your future plans? Like, do you have a championship coming up that you're preparing yourself for?
Yes, it's the Masters Championship, and that's like the most important championship ever. It's even more than the World Championship. They pick the first two ranked in the World Championship, and then the first from each continent. We are 8 ladies, and we participate against each other. So it's very hard. I have to participate against the other 7 athletes, and athletes are picked. For example, it's Sarah Assem. It's not Egypt. It's only by my name. Sarah Assem is coming to participate, and it's after a couple of months. And I hope. Last time I went there, I got 4th place. But now I'm going there. I'm 2nd place for the world, and I hope that I'll get a medal.
Well, karate champion Ms. Sarah Hassan, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Actually, it was a great pleasure to be with you, and we hope that I wish one day we can see kata in Egypt. That is much popular as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And actually, today we are celebrating also the anniversary of late famous singer Layla Murad in the Middle East. One of our favorite singers as well. She presented many singers. Actually, had many movies for Layla Murad as well that still live inside us. So today we come to the end of our breakfast show for this edition. Thank you all for joining us, and remember to join us again tomorrow same time with our colleagues. You are in the company of Rasha Modi and Nashwa Rashid. Thanks for watching us, and let's enjoy together an extract of one of the songs for Layla Murad.
جيشنا وشعبنا كل